Good evening and welcome back for episode 5 of Pine Stars. I almost a little misspeak there. My fault. And I actually just realized that that actually sounds similar because I was thinking about Pine Stars. Uh, and for those of us that sat on the bench and watched a lot of baseball and ran our mouths. That's who we are. My name is Brad Bates. I'm here with my co-host Brian Rimke, and we are here to give you a weekend wrap up of the UIndy baseball Greyhounds and where they are moving forward within the GLVC conference. But first and foremost, one of our former teammates, the Kurt, sent us a little snippet of a game that took place this week in what I'm not even sure what division that is. What was this baseball game that the Kurt sent us this week?
Yeah, it was a Division III powerhouse matchup. So you had Yeshiva University and Lehman College, both I think in New
Yeshiva
York, that
University and Layman College.
combined 141 game losing streak going into this tilt. Um,
Combined, so there was break. What was the breakout? What was the split?
yeah, Yeshiva was on a 99 game losing streak after going 2 and 27, 0 and 29, 0 and 26, and started this year 0 and 18.
99 game losing streak. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
And then
Okay. And then
his
and then
other
what was Layman? So 100 and what no, they
42
were
game losing streak.
a 42 game
They
losing
had a
streak.
42 game losing streak going from 2023 till this year, as they're off to a slow start at 0 and 13 this year.
Do you think do you think those athletic directors are sitting in the hot seat like, let's schedule somebody that we can maybe get a win? And both ADs were like, yes, let's get this game together.
um, ir- Ironically, Yeshiva blew the chance at a win,
So they got to hold
losing
on. Yeshiva, there
7-6.
was the night was the team that had 99 losses, right?
hmm
So they
No,
made
no,
it to
no.
100?
Yes, yes. They, yes, they made it to 100 because they blew a lead that they were up 6-4 and couldn't hold it.
They scored 6 runs.
Um,
Oh man.
but they
That's
did fight
that's
back
tough.
and won 9-5 in the next game. So both teams have one win now. Um,
Wow. That's incredible. I don't, so let's think about that real quick. Let's just say, I mean, and does the pregame speech at after loss 73, does that pregame speech change before game 100, like the potential for loss 100?
by 73, the pregame speech has to be something simple like do better, don't suck, because you've used everything else and it hasn't worked. So, or
Yeah.
maybe you just skip it all together. Just give them a clap and say head on out.
Uh, and just every time you're chili dipping. Like I don't know what I mean, what else are you gonna say? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Uh, yeah, I think you keep it to 2 words and just roll.
Ah, man, that's a tough, and that's a tough thing for that pitcher to walk out on the mound and like just swallow it down and be like, let's get this going. Let's see if we can like they're getting ready to throw up every time they get on. They like go back and grab the rock. They're getting ready to lose it. Uh, that's got to be tough, man. But hey, congratulations to both teams for breaking their losing streaks on the same day, it sounds like. That's pretty
Uh,
remarkable. But let's talk a little bit about the UIndy Greyhounds and how they did this past weekend. They scored up with Quincy for 4 games. They played, I believe, two on Saturday, two on Sunday. Kind of give us a little rundown of how they did there this last weekend.
yeah, rolled into Quincy, as Woody mentioned, the Gym City,
Gym City.
and went 2-2. splitting both days. Game two on Saturday won 8-1. And then game two on Sunday won 13-7 in extras. So good
Okay.
weekend. Um, I
Probably
know you
not. I
had,
mean, you and I talked about it last weekend. Like we felt like this was a weekend they could maybe go in and get three. But
yeah,
I mean, you think about game one on Saturday went into extras. Like they were in a position where they needed to win, and should have. But baseball's funny, right? I mean, like things happen.
yeah,
I was talking to Coach Reddy earlier today, actually, and he was kind of telling me the breakdown of how that happened and how. Um, So Bestel comes in, which let I mean, I realized he was our first guest. We needed to bring him in and kind of bring him into the fold. I feel like maybe we kind of let down on some of our duties in providing him with knowledge on what exactly a pick to click is, but we don't pick guys and then they go out and blow lead. And I'm not, trust me, I'm not blaming Bestel at all for this. I'm blaming Woody and us for not providing Woody with that information. But um, basically there was a situation where I think there was like first and second, kid lays down a trying to drag bunt or something along that line, and he double hits it. Well, the umpire doesn't see it, so he doesn't call it, and Bessel comes in to make the play, throws it into right field. You know, everybody's in shock because from what I understood, everybody could see that this was a busted play. Like this was a, dead ball, shouldn't be in action. Bessel's trying to make a play, throws it into right field, couple runs score, whatever. They end up tying it up and lose the game in the eighth. So that's not the Austin Bestel that the team has seen throughout the year. So I know that's Woody's fault.
yeah. And he's not here to defend himself. So absolutely.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, trust me, I've had words with him. I've talked to him about it, but he'll be back on the show and he'll join us. But I just want to make sure that the team knows that we recognize the effect that we have, and the error of our ways in just letting somebody come on uh, come on here and make a pick without doing their due diligence.
Yeah. And, take the eye off the chest and, bounce back.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So excuse me. Took 2 out of 2 or 2 out of 4 this weekend. Olay had a big weekend, hit two bombs. So your clicks to pick have been almost like you pick them, and that weekend it's not so much. It's the following weekend. Have you noticed that?
Right. Well, it did. And, thank you for saying that because when we have someone that is click to pick, it's long term. This is a
Oh,
relationship. This is not, a one weekend kind of thing.
yeah.
So yeah, they're picked and it's just waiting on the click
Hmm.
from us so they can go pick.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like a ball club, right? Like you have your role, I have my role. Um, Mine are more like, hey, this weekend, this is what I need you to go. And yours are kind of that, yeah, I'm just letting you know that you're on call. I'm calling you to the carpet. And I'll be honest with you, like knowing you as long as I have, I don't like getting called to the carpet by you.
Hmm. Well, I don't like doing it, but I'm willing.
Yeah, well, trust me, I've been on the receiving end of a couple of those conversations. Um, Not exactly a good time. So, but looking ahead at this weekend, so this is a big weekend. They're home this weekend. Got Truman rolling into town,
Mhm.
um, and tomorrow, actually, we're recording this on Thursday night. So tomorrow, Friday at 3 o'clock, UIndy Greyhounds are playing the Truman, I don't know, Bulldogs, something like that. Um,
Yeah, this says No, it doesn't say that. Sorry. I thought you had it right. Yeah, Bulldogs. Your second answer.
My second answer was the one. But tomorrow is a big day at Greyhound Park. It is the K Out Cancer game. They're going to have about 200 shirts as a giveaway. The Redden family, which Redden is a player that plays on the team, and his family is bringing out a big trailer with like pulled pork, smoked foods, meats, very medieval. But they're going to have some barbecue and things like that going on to benefit and do some fundraiser um, for the cancer societies. And one of the reasons for that is because of one of the players, Dawson Gabe, is a pitcher on the UIndy ball club this year. And last year he was diagnosed, excuse me, was diagnosed with testicular cancer and is back undergoing some treatment right now. And so, we obviously wish him the best and hate to hear of
Yeah.
anybody wearing the Greyhound uniform or anybody wearing a uniform anywhere or just wearing, just being a human being and having to deal with things such as this are obviously unfortunate. But, when it hits close to home, it's something that obviously we take note of and we pay a little bit more attention to and really, really hoping for a big turnout tomorrow at Bill Bright Field. And talking to Coach Rady today, like he was pretty sure like they were going to look at maybe getting over 1,000 people out at the ball game tomorrow.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, he and I can't imagine what 1,000 people at that ballpark would look like. But he was pretty
I'd
confident
send
that.
it, probably set a record attendance.
Yeah, and that's what he was saying. Never been a crowd that big before there, so that would be fantastic to see that many people
Yeah.
out. And just so showing support for both the ball club as well as Dawson and the rest of that gang that's there. But Truman's rolling into town, getting back to obviously the serious conversation of the weekend 4-game series with Truman. Um, one of my favorite bands is starting game one tomorrow. It's Frankie Clem and the Kitchen Sink. Okay. So Frankie Clem bringing the lefty, okay, bringing that positive vibe and that heat, is starting game one on Friday. Uh, and Coach Reddy said, "Hey man, go as long as you can. You're throwing a perfect game in 3 innings. You're gonna go a fourth, but the bullpen will pick you up when we go." And so I'm excited to see what Frankie can bring to the table, and what the hitters have been producing. And I'll be honest with you, we've been swinging the bats well, so I'm excited to see the kind of run and production that they can put up this weekend.
Yeah. I Frankie, you are going to go out there and
I would.
does he even come out?
That's a timeout. That give me a 20 second. What did you call him?
Hmm. Let's call him Frankie. That's on me. Frankie
Let
Clem,
Here's the
because
thing.
it's actually one name. It's one name. It's Frankie
It
Clem.
is, and I'll tell you what. Reddy called him Frankie Clem today.
Ah,
It's taken on.
well, yeah. It's the Nick Nell syndrome.
It really is. Can I can I tell you a story about Nick Nell real quick?
I would love this.
I ran into a fella tonight. I was at a UIndy alumni gathering this evening, and I ran into a gentleman who works at the University of Indianapolis, and he just for whatever reason he's fantastic at his job. He knows everybody that graduated, is connected, like just knows everybody. Anyway, he said
Do
every time he
you
runs
not
into
want
Nick,
to? Are
do
you
you want
going
me
to
to throw
name
his
him?
name? Do you want me to
We
throw
all
his
know
name out
him.
there?
Yeah, everybody knows him.
It's Matt Donovan. Matt Donovan's the best. He's the absolute best. He's fantastic.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
fantastic at his job. And then I love just sitting and talking to him because he's got stories for days. But
I
he
mean,
told me
he knows everybody, and he's always everywhere.
he's everywhere. Every time I
I
see him, he's
mean,
like
Donovan
Bates. And
is
I'm like,
like
how do you even
omnipresent.
remember who I am? But so anyway, he tells me, he says, every time I run into Nick Nell, he says, hey, Nick Nell looks at Donovan and says, hey, when you see Bates, tell that motherfucker to eat shit because he grounded into a double play when I was on deck that ended my college career. So my college career ended on deck in the batter circle and because Bates hit into a fucking double play.
Yeah. And what spot in the order were you pinch hitting for?
Probably the 8 hole, 7 hole.
Because Nick would have been in the 9 hole.
Yeah.
Hmm. Wonder if wonder if that had anything to do with it.
He would have got more ABs
He
if
would
he
have
was
been
up
one
higher
spot
in the
up in the
lineup.
order. One spot up in the order, you're pinch hitting for the guy behind him.
Yeah.
And maybe Nick Nell would have tried to end your career.
Yeah. Eat shit, Nick.
Even though you
Eat shit, Nick now. That ain't my
uh,
fault. It's not my fault that I had wheels and that kid just turned a double play faster than anything you've ever seen. I mean,
yeah.
I was speedy. Um, but anyway, we were looking at Truman. Yes, they're coming in this weekend against Truman.
Yep.
Um, I'll be honest with you, they need 3 out of 4. They need 3 out of 4 this week. So what's the overall six over the 16 one game over 500?
Yeah. 16-15, but sitting at 9-6 in the conference, which
So
is
they're
good
like
for fourth.
sitting right here with like water level, right? They're just barely keeping their eyes above water.
Play Jury later in the year, play Lewis later in the year. Already
Lewis is
played
pretty
Springfield
good,
and
right?
Maryville. They got a good record. I have no idea who they've played, but probably some of those games against conference opponents, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
But we know what the out of conference looks like. So, um, yeah, I take care of things with Truman. I think 3 out of 4 is a um, good one to shoot for. But if you're not busy, you just get all four.
Yeah. Just go out there and get off. I mean, because you know what? They're in the bottom, they're the bottom three of the conference. Like, I get it. Like your record's 9-6, but okay, UIndy's 9-6 in the conference, which puts them at 4, right?
Mhm.
Puts them at fourth in the conference. Out of how many teams?
Yeah,
What is there? 73 teams in the conference
15.
now?
Yeah, 17 or 30.
I feel like there's 112 teams in this conference now.
15.
Exactly. That's pretty
Yeah,
close. Like
basically
if
the
you
same.
round
Yeah, yeah.
up,
No, you were
but
right.
if you round, yeah, if you round up, I mean, it's
Round
close.
up, add a number, it's right there. Yeah.
So out of
Um,
15, they're fourth, which tells you the
mhm.
rest of the conference, they're either beating the shit out of
This
each
is
other as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. There's a lot of teams close to 500, but UIndy obviously being top four, and Maryville's only one game or half game ahead of them. So
Goddamn
yeah, so
Maryville.
I think in a good spot. Definitely control their own destiny.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's important, right? I mean, I think you know, if you remember back to years that we played and the importance of like, were you there the year we went 51-15? Were you there that year?
Yeah, that was my freshman year.
Okay. So like obviously in that situation, I mean, we had won 51 games before we lost game 14 because we went into the regional 51 and or we went into the regional championship 51-13. Like that was stupid. I mean, and that's how good that ball club was. But when I talked to Reddy today, he told me, he said, "Man, I'd match this team up against that team right now." He's like, "I'd match them up." And he said, if you go back and try to look at the stats from 2001, which was that 51-15 year, and you look at the stats this year. they're not probably not going to be comparable. I mean, we were just drumming teams, and we had a pitching staff that was shutting a lot of people down. But he said the tenacity and the perseverance that he's seen from his players this year, they're a game over 500, they're 16 and 15, they're 9 and 6 in the conference. Like they've had game like even like look at Sunday game 2. They win 13-7, but it was because it was in extras or close to extra, or it went to the seventh inning
Yeah.
before they scored 6 runs. I mean, it was a tie ball game. Like they've been in tight ball games all year long. And
Hmm.
so, one of the things that Reddy talked about, he said, we were 51 and 13. We went into that regional championship game, and I think it was SIU Edwardsville. That's who we were playing, and they had to beat us twice.
Yeah.
And they beat us in that first game and popped us in the mouth, and we were like, "Oh shit, what are we supposed to do now?" Well,
Hmm.
Reddy's not worried about that with this team. He said, we've been in dogfights every single game. We started off 5-0, we won 10 out of 11, or we lost 10 out of 11. And he's like, we got that losing skid out early. He's like, we got that out of the way. The guys have bounced back. We're playing some really good ball right now, and our hitters are clicking. In part to our clicks to pick. I don't feel like Reddy brought that up enough as far as being, a contributing factor. The fact that we've, basically laid out the red carpet um, for a lot of these guys to walk on. But, you know, I'm proud of the dugout too because I'm hearing really, really good things about this dugout.
Doesn't that hit you in the feels a little bit?
Oh my God, like it's like when you just pure a 5 iron like or a driver, you get that it almost just feels like hot like it's like not a bad hollow, but like a good hollow when that happens. It's just like it like almost takes your breath away. I think that's kind of what it is. Like it takes my breath away to just think about these guys in there um giving it what they can, for where they're at. Because, as much as Woody really shit the bed last week with his click to pick. Um, I think,
Not with the click to pick, with the naming rights associated with it.
well, yeah, when he gives a name like Mark Pryor, yeah, he's not allowed to do that anymore. Vestal,
I,
we're
I,
sorry. We're sorry.
he, I think, truth be told, I'm not sure he was allowed to name his son, but we should have picked up on that.
That's 100% accurate. I think that's 100% true. Um,
Yeah. So anyway, Austin, we're going to take care of you today.
yeah,
So
we're gonna get you
we'll
taken
get
care
when
of.
we get to clicks to pick, we're going to get you squared away. We got two more that we'll add today as well. So um, I know that's really what everybody needs going into the weekend. So we
Well,
got
and
three that we'll throw at you.
yeah, and those will come up here in just a second. But just the last thing to kind of cap off one of the conversations that I had with Reddy today was he had talked about he said when he was playing and especially when he was at Indy, he knew every time we walked out on the field we were going to win. He was like
Yeah.
it was just and it wasn't like a cocky like swagger or whatever. It was just a I know we're going to compete, we're going to win, we're going to be right there. And if we lose, it's going to be a fluke and we'll come back the next game and get it. And he's like,
Yeah.
I've been trying to figure out how to communicate that to recruits and players and things like that over the years. He said he kind of has come around a little bit listening to and just thinking about things this year. And he said this last weekend they were playing on, I believe it was Sunday game. Sunday game. Diego goes out, throws a great 5 2/3. This is when Bestel comes in and the shit hits the fan. The umpire blows the call, like all that kind of stuff. They lose the game 6-5. They lose the game 6-5, and it's kind of like, we've been here before. Like, oh, geez, here we go. let's lost a game, blah blah blah. They get into game two on Sunday. They're up 7-4 in the bottom of the seventh, and kid hits a 3-run home run, ties it up. Like that shit's just gonna happen, right? Like that
Yeah,
happens.
right, right.
But now all of a sudden, like you could see the wind coming out of the sails if obviously, I would assume. And Reddy said, not at all. He said the guys click like he's like they stuck in it. They were right there. And he said you could just for whatever reason, he said he feels like it just clicked, like it just kind of set in. And that would be especially after that happened in game one on a Sunday, and
Right.
it's cold and it's all that, and it's just like you could tuck your tail and run, and then to come back, like the perseverance that it shows to do that. So they come back in what was it, the eighth inning, top of the or top seven, and scored 6 runs, put it out of contention 13-7. So they win the game by 6, but yet it's a 1 out away game, right?
Right.
Um, So, he's very excited about where the team is right now and their ability to persevere through some challenges. And, he
Yeah.
really feels like if they get into a dogfight, you know, late inning game, close game, like they've been there
Yeah.
before and they're going to be battle tested, which I think is exciting.
Yeah. You look at their last 15, they're 10-5. And with the exception of maybe one game, the losses are all tight ball games.
Yeah.
Now on the winning side, there's been some big numbers put up, but even the wins though, like you said, they're tight. So
Hmm.
couldn't agree with Al more. The ups and downs, and now we're like, nothing rattles you. Been here,
Yeah.
and I think that's obviously a lot of clicks to pick. Have been able to really help the team out, which is the power of the program. Um,
Right.
but also a little credit to the guys on the field. They're probably doing some things that we're not. Um,
Sh Sure.
but
I I look, I mean, obviously you can't you can't play the game, can't do the things without the guys on the field, right? I mean, like we know that, but I mean, we've known this. We've known this for the last 20-25 years. Like they're really nothing without us.
right. Well, I mean, everybody knows the game starts with the guys in the dugout.
Yeah, because those guys that play and do all that stuff, like there's no, oh, okay, I'm so good. Like, oh, I get to play, I get to start. And then, for those of us that don't, like, we're the ones that overcome adversity, right? We're the ones that, really in those late inning games, like we know what's going to happen. And so we keep the guys' heads up. But hey, I see a lot of good things happening, and I think they really control their own destiny right now, which is great. Because, like you said, they're fourth in the conference. Um, but the other thing is that the regional is based on their strength of schedule. So it's not just on straight record anymore. And so their strength of schedule right now, I believe, is top in the conference, which is big. Which also goes to show like they're 9-6 in the conference, and they've also got the toughest schedule in the conference.
Mhm.
Um, and I think they're in the top 3 or 4 in strength of schedule in the region, in order to make the regional. So they're in a position to where if they can come through this weekend, take 3 out of 4, even 4 out of 4 if they're not lazy, go into next weekend, do the same thing. Like they could really make a run at
Mhm.
doing some big things and getting in a good seed for the regional.
Yeah. Yep. Pick up. There's a little bit of a gap. You got two teams in the conference with 14 wins. You go in there and get four, you're right behind them. And then I think, you see a lot more separation where a lot of the teams that are hovering in the middle, at or close to 500, they're going to continue to eat at each other.
Yeah,
So I think, that gives you an opportunity to, kind of separate yourself from the pack a little bit and just go play.
yeah, yeah. And I think their last weekend series is against Lewis. who's top in the conference right
Hmm.
now. So if they get to a position to where, it's a close contention as far as winning the league and winning the conference, you could walk into that last weekend series of, hey, winner of the series wins the conference, or wins the league as far as the overall regular season, which is that's exciting too.
Right, because we know what these guys do when they get into the postseason.
Yeah. They just keep booking trips to Cary, North Carolina.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah, absolutely.
But all
And
right, we let's. They're waiting. They're waiting patiently. We got to give them the clicks to pick.
let's do it. Okay. Are
All
you
right,
going? How many do we? Oh, wait,
we're
wait,
gonna
wait, wait. Do you want to take care of Woody's
we
mistake
got to take care
first?
of Bestel. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Let's start there.
Okay.
Austin, we said we owed you, so we went back, did a little digging, get you out of your previous situation, and so we know you're a Wisconsin kid. Wisconsin's the Badgers. If we went Badgers, that would be too lazy. You know us, that's not how we roll.
I'll be
We're like,
honest
all
with you,
right, Badger.
he kind of looks like somebody that like, he'll just, I think he'd literally
Right,
scratch your face if you got close to him.
right, for sure. So this leap that we're going to take with still getting some Wisconsin Badger, in it, then we start thinking, all right, who's some famous Badgers? And you think, well, Tyrone Matthew, he was,
No,
and, long career in
still
the
is.
NFL, LSU standout, back in DB, kind of that back line of the defense. And his nickname was the Honey Badger. So Austin, we're gonna roll with Honey Badger. Now, if you guys on the team maybe like you a little more, maybe they just call you Honey.
Ooh, give me a little bit
Other
of that
guys may want
sweet,
to call you
sweet.
Badger. So the whole thing, I think we roll with. We're gonna try Honey Badger out for you, Austin.
I like it. We're moving to the Honey Badger for Austin Bestol the rest of the season. And do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
I'll throw the next one out there.
Okay. Are you
So
going with your click to pick?
yeah, I'm so we're gonna go with we've talked about this guy before. We know the importance of kind of the captain, the guy that's run the show. So Easton Good, we're gonna take you on a little journey now. And you know us, we like to go journey. We like to go back into the early 2000s rap. That's where a lot of good things happen.
And
So
bomb. Wait, snow blew up there was a little blizzard last weekend with snow on the mound. He took care of business, by the way. But go ahead. Sorry. Good
yeah,
on Goody.
and no, yeah, so Goody, here's what we did is just a little light internet research on our part, just part of our daily activity. We, I thought there's like, man, there is a Goody song out there. I know there
Yeah.
is. Well, we found it. Now it's old, so it's probably something you never heard of. Understandably, you were probably in elementary school when this song came out.
If that.
But we want you to get on YouTube, look up Sierra's song Goodies that is features one of our favorite rappers, Petey
Oh,
Pablo.
Petey Pablo.
So with
So
so
good. Oh,
I mean lyrical genius, everybody knows this,
I
right?
mean, he is a
Um,
master with the pen.
yeah. Goody, you got to get this song, listen through it. It's by Sierra, but it's got to be the Goodies version that has Petey Pablo in it. And you need to see the video. And so
Well, yeah.
we took that and we were like, all right. And we know this isn't a huge leap. We go from good to goody to goodies. So we can bring the song in.
But I honestly, I don't hate the fact that you add the plural to it. Goodies. Give me,
Right. It just means he
get
has
them
multiple.
goodies. Get them goodies. Yeah, I like it. I like it.
So we go there, but we won't give you an option because it's so close to how you roll anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, you could also just say I'll just take the famous rapper and just call me Petey.
Petey Pablo. I just can't like
But
he does it. He does it for me.
yeah, I mean, there's a couple things that could happen. One, he's going to learn a whole lot about like 2010. I mean, there's going to be some
No,
good lessons there.
it's gonna be like 1999 is what he's gonna learn about.
Um, and if you're bored after that, just get on a PD Pablo, just let his entire collection shuffle. Like
Yeah, I mean,
you,
if you've ever been to North Carolina, you deserve to listen to Raise Up. I did go to a UNC Virginia football game one time, and they played Raise Up as the intro song for UNC Chapel Hill to take the field, and it was
oh yeah,
the greatest, one of the greatest things I've ever seen. Plus, that also the flyover, which I'm a sucker for a flyover, was a stealth bomber, which was pretty amazing. Do you think
nice.
Reddy can get flyovers?
Yeah, and now it's the Canadian Air Force, so I don't know how you time that. Obviously, a little longer flight in. I don't think he's got domestic pull on flyovers yet.
So do you think he's just flying
Donovan
like a
Donovan probably has a guy over there that he can call. He knows everybody.
He's got somebody at O'Fallon Air Force Base over by St. Louis that he can get somebody in there for sure.
Yeah, he goes, I get you six F-18s up in 2 days.
All right, here's my click to pick this week. I feel good about it because the last couple times he's been on the bump, I'm telling you what, I talked about him in the first episode. I love watching this kid pitch. And Diego Cardenas is my click to pick this week. He is he's due. I mean, he went 5 2/3 with I think 2 hits this last weekend. So he's
Yeah.
finding it. And I think one of the things in talking with Coach Reddy is he's found his changeup. They've kind of tweaked some things and worked on some things to give him a little bit more differential on that. And he's feeling like he's in a much better spot. I just think with his mentality, if he can find that pitch that's 8, 9, 10, miles an hour difference from his fastball, it's going to be a big difference. One of the things that we were talking about was hitters at this level can really control 2 pitches. So if you got a fastball and a breaking ball, hitters can usually manage that. But if you've got three, that's when it's difficult. And so when he can really mix in that changeup, he's going to be good to go out there and manufacture a lot of shutdown innings. And I mean, if he's throwing a lot of changeups, maybe a lot of ground balls, double plays, things like that. So opportunities for goodies, Petey Pobbs, and some of the other boys on the infield to make some plays. So here's where I'm going with the nickname on this. So Diego is from South Bend
Hmm.
originally. So
Yep.
South Bend is home of, and I can't remember the actor's name, but he is Hank Schrader, the brother-in-law on Breaking Bad. Okay. So Hank Schrader, brother-in-law, Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad leads me to Walter White. Walt, mhm, I'm not crazy about Walt. It's kind of, hey, let's walk. Okay, well, now it sounds like walk. I don't want to be yelling at the pitcher to be like, hey, let's walk. Let's go walk. You can't do that. But Walter White was the chef for all the meth, cooking it up, making it, getting a little ingredients in there, all something special. So Diego from now on for me is going to be the chef. And it may I think if I'm just talking about him, I'm going to give him the article the chef